Hello, welcome to Popalong RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing. And today I am back at MK, and this is where I go with my son on a Sunday morning. Not been for a while, been out enjoying the sun, but really looking forward to a day racing. Bit of on-road carpet racing is what I enjoy more than most, and it was great to see so many kids there. The regular class or the pro class here at the club is the GT12. Um, and we've got a couple of guys that run really high at the nationals, running at the club, and the standard of the top heat is absolutely insane. However, I thought I would try something a little bit different. Obviously, I've been running GT12 on and off for a few years now, but there is a new class coming out very soon, which is the LMGT3. And I have converted my Atom 3 to an LMGT3, and in this video we're going to see how it gets on against the GT12. So how are we going to determine this? Well, if we have a look at the last championship I took part in, down there in F2, I was sandwiched between Steve and Max, and every time we race, that's pretty much where I end up, between Steve and Max. This is the last final that I competed in. Had some cracking battles with both Steve and Max on the track, but I kind of know where I am. So here it is, the LMGT3 car. Now, I went out for the first round and I was running these tyres here, and when I came off, um, Dave noticed that they didn't have a purple stripe on, so I actually have no idea what tyres these were. I thought I'd ordered two sets of these, but apparently one of them came like that. So anyway, I've changed over to the ones with the purple line, which is the control tyre. So this is a brand new set of tyres now for my second run. In terms of the first run, the car was a little bit slidey, let's say, for the first couple of laps. I took my time and the car did come to me, and by the end I was putting in some consistent laps. So I definitely think gearing wise I'm probably a little bit low. I could come up with my gearing to work on my top end, but until I'm consistent with this car and I feel it's balanced on the track, I'm not going to make any changes. So let's get ready for round number two. So here we are, round number two, and the car is getting better and better with every lap I do. Starting to have a little bit more trust in the car, starting to push the car. What I was finding though, which was a little bit frustrating, is it lacked a bit of front end grip. So I was understeering going into turns, therefore I was missing my apexes and tend to go very, very wide. That is quite a simple fix in terms of tyre management with the foam tyres. You can just add a little bit more additive on the front, and that's what I intended to do. However, obviously this is the first time I've run this car since I did the rebuild, and it was a brand new servo. So what I've also done, because I've also running my new Fly Sky radio, at the end of this run I changed the endpoints to give me a little bit more steering. So just to recap with this LMGT3, this is actually a GT12 car. This is the Atom 3, and what I've done is I've replaced the rear with a Eclipse 6, and that's gone to a spool now. So I'm running a 2S ESC, a 2S LiPo, and a 25.5 turn motor there. Let's see how we get on. So interestingly, the battery after each run, checking it, it was only going down to 8.0 from 8.4, so it's hardly taking anything out of the battery. So now we're into third round of qualifying, and again, I'm just gaining confidence every time I go out with this car. It's becoming a little bit more responsive. The change in the endpoints definitely helped me with the change of direction on the track. And it was just sort of my driving, having to adapt to running these cars. Obviously, I've been running buggies for the last few weeks, so therefore I was a little bit rusty, but really enjoying the driving experience. I did show the car around to the locals who took a little bit of interest in it. Some are bigger fans than other of the platform, you could say. But if we go back to the action on the track,
I was starting to push as hard as I could, and I wasn't being dropped by the rest of the field quite so much. So I was quite apprehensive about running the spool because running the spool in GT12 can be quite challenging, and I actually found it quite easy to drive. The 25.5 turn motor put out the power, and it was just really smooth, really easy to drive. The grip was nice and consistent. So if we look down here at round two, you can see I'm nearly a second. My best lap is nearly a second off the pace. My consistency wasn't too bad, and I was getting 23 laps, but definitely off the pace and a lap down on max. Moving on to the third round with the slight changes, I've managed to get my fastest lap down under 12 seconds, which is awesome. And again, the consistency's there, back in the mix with Max and Steve, which is exactly where I wanted to be. So, on to the final. I am starting third on the grid. Steve's in first, Max is in second, and I am in third. But Max has made a mistake. Steve's made a mistake. He's over the barrier. I'm up to first place. Max is in second. So, I'm out in front, and I have been Verstappened by Max. I'm into the barrier, and we are off again. So I am now down to third place. Steve, who started on pole, he is the fastest car in this race, is hot on my heels. However, I have got track position. Therefore, I'm not going to make it easy for him to get past. I'm going to try and hold my line, keep it as consistent as I can. Max is making mistakes, so I am back on the heels of Max. So I think this is where the race is going to be. It's Max in second. I'm in third. Steve's in fourth. First place has made a mistake. He's out of the race. He's down to fourth place. So Max has made a mistake now. I'm up into first place. Steve is now hot on my heels in second, but I'm going to hold that line nice and tight. I don't want to make any mistakes. I'm blocking off the inside there. Again, I'm trying to keep it as tight as possible. Now, Max has gone past Steve. Steve and Max switching places down the straight there. I'm still out in front, keeping it nice and clean through this section. The car is behaving exactly as I want to. A little mistake there. I think Steve's been taken out. Max is disappearing. I've made a mistake now. And I have dropped down into second. I believe the blue car is a lapped car. So I am in second now, and I want to get back on the chase and try and catch up with Max. Steve is coming though. Steve, as I say, fastest car coming into this race, and he is the fastest car on the track at the moment. But I am in second place, chasing down Max. This is a fun race. I'm enjoying the driving experience. I'm pushing the car, I'm leaning on it. I am enjoying the drive, and it is going well. I can slowly see Max is getting closer to me, but Steve equally is getting closer to the back of me. He's made a little mistake there through the end of the track. So, can I get the job done? I just need to keep it nice and clean, nice and consistent. But I've made a little mistake going onto the straight, which has brought Steve back into the mix. Another little mistake there, and I have been absolutely mullered by Steve. Steve now jumps the barrier, and he is all over the back of Max. I think I've been hard done by there. And unfortunately for me, this is how the race remained. I was kind of in limbo, all on my own, and Max and Steve disappeared up the track and continued the battle all the way down to the line. So the first half of this race, great fun, really enjoyed it. As I say, I've had many a close battle with Steve and Max on the track, and yeah, it was another really fun day at the track. I also really enjoyed the fact that my son was racing. He qualified for the B final of the Tamiya Touring Cars. There was loads in today, so there was actually an A, a B, and a C final. So loads of kids at the club. The club is thriving with youngsters and the next generation. Um, in terms of the LMGT3 car, it did all right in the final in the end. Again, my best lap was down to an 11.4, which is the quickest of the day. For a first outing for this car, I'm really pleased with how it handled on the track. What do I think of the class? Well, I think that is going to be another video because there's lots to be said about this class. In terms of performance on the track, I can't knock it. The car did what I wanted to do. It was easy enough to drive. It handled well. What I would say is I think I can up the gearing, make it a little bit faster. So that's something I can look into for the next outing for this car. But all in all good fun was had at the track, and I'm looking forward to some on-road racing because, as I say, I've done a lot of off-road racing with Mark because that's what Mark wants to be doing at the moment. But I definitely prefer my on-road racing, and I'm really enjoying the LMGT3 car, and it's given me sort of a little buzz to get back indoors. So all good here. Tune in for the next video where we talk a little bit more about GT12s and LMGT3s, and in fact all indoor carpet racers.